Good morning. Today on Customer States What? We have a 2011 Honda Odyssey with a little bit of FIFA action. But we're doing a timing belt and we're doing a few services, including some brake fluid. Well, let's get into it. Don't want to work amongst the poop. Alright guys, so now that we're involved in the whole dismantle process, we had to take out the belt tensioner, the drive belt, and we had to move the engine into top dead center position, or in a safe position, to remove the timing belt. So now how to do that is, there is a, if you look into the mirror, there's a little arrow right there. But that little arrow is pointing at that little white line on the crank. So that's one of the lines we have to line up. The next is through a very small sight window on the timing cover right next to that sticker right there. And there's a line or a mark there that I have to reference to. And that line is in fact where it needs to be. So now I know this engine is safe to take apart. Let's continue. Well guys, we ran into all types of hell trying to get that crank bolt out. We got the Chinese hot wrench out, tried heating around it, can't get it out. So we're moving on to the front sway bar bushings, but I contacted a buddy, yeah, what up Kyle, big shout out to Kyle, at Honda around the way, and yeah, there's a special tool. So we're gonna try and see if we can get the special tool. We have pretty decent relations with the Honda dealership down the street. We do their alignments, so we're gonna see if we could get one of their special tools. Why? But until then. Alright, so we got all the 14 millimeters out. Now we could just remove the bushing with no problem. Very good. Okay, very good guys. We have both sway bar bushings installed. The caps to hold down the bushings are on top of the bushing. What we're going to do on the driver's side, we're going to install the bolts hand tight only, because we still may have to maneuver the sway bar on the other side to start the other bolts. So we'll start these and then go to the other side, put those in, and then tighten them, and then come back to the driver's side and tighten these, and we will be done with the sway bar bushing removal and replacement. Very good. Very good guys. Now we got both bushings fully installed, and not to mention, one of the Honda guys came through for us. He came over with the weighted socket, and it was just a 19 millimeter socket, but the walls on it were like quadruple the thickness. Giggity. And we got that crank bolt out. So now let's make sure that we're back at top dead center, realign everything, check our marks, and then we can continue with the timing job. Very good. Alright guys, we got the crank pulley off, we got the lower timing cover off, and just like in the previous video with the Toyota timing belt, there's a ring here, and as you can see, there is a tapered edge. Always tapered edge going towards outside of the engine, or away from the engine. So we're going to put this guy right there, because it's very important. So we still got a little bit to go. We still got to get the engine mount out. We still got to get the top timing covers off. And in order to take that engine mount, we got to get the CSW special tool, our block of wood, and we have to set it up on our beautiful floor. And support the engine as we take that engine mount out, because as you can see here, the timing belt goes under it in 2 different spots. And I'm also replacing the water pump, which I believe is right behind it. So yeah, let's keep going. Alright guys, here we have the timing belt all exposed. We took out the tensioner, and believe it or not, in the procedure they ask you to take the battery hold down bolt, and what you do is you actually thread it in right here, so that is its known position for the idler. Amazing little things that the manufacturers put in the process. Alright, let's get all these idlers off, let's get that water pump out, and let's get the new parts in. Very good. Alright guys, now that everything is off there, the pump is not leaking, but we are replacing this water pump as preventative maintenance. Why? Well, we're freaking in there. So that's why. You don't want to end up doing this job twice, because you put the new T-belt in, yeah, it's nice, 20,000 miles down the road, boom, water pump starts leaking. Now what? Now you got to take that brand new timing belt that you just put on there that's all contaminated with coolant just to replace the water pump. And if the belt is contaminated, depending on the contamination, you're probably going to have to replace the freaking belt also. So, biggest tip of this job, guys, if you're doing a timing belt, replace the water pump and double check your cam seals and the crank seals. If they're not leaking, they're not leaking, but always inform your customer. There's a chance you might find additional leaks once you're in there. Alright, let's continue. Alright, let's force induce this W.A.W.P. Alright, last bolt right here, guys. Alright, it must be stuck on there. Let's get up in there. A little wiggle wiggle. Come on. Come on, up. Maybe right here. Oh, we're gonna have to get a different pry bar. Alright, forced induced W.A.W.P action happening in 3, 2, 1. Oh, she's a gushing. A little bit more. Oh, yeah. That look like blueberry Kool-Aid. No, you don't want to drink this type of Kool-Aid, guys. Another tip for this video: don't freaking drink coolant. Pump is out. Now we gotta clean our surfaces, install that water pump, and yeah, continue. Alright guys, brand new water pump is torqued down to specification. Beautiful. And for the next guy who does the timing belt, I left him a little love note. Alright guys, so we're routing the timing belt. I did in fact have to take out the power steering pump. Pinched off a line here, and we got the other one, oh, actually pissing down onto everything. It was bent right there. Good. Oh good, it didn't hit any of the new components. Very good. Alright, so we start off on the crank, then we go to the forward camshaft, making sure there's a minimum belt deflection. Same for when you're running it underneath the water pump to the next camshaft. Now what I like to do, guys, I'll take a regular open-end wrench right here and I'll actually rock the cam forward a little bit. Then I'll set the belt and then I'll move it back to its proper timing mark, and what that does is it allows me to set the tension between camshafts. Now I'm going to install tensioner and the idler that goes to the tensioner, and then we got to pull the grenade pin, rotate the engine 2 full rotations or 720 degrees, and then check our marks. Let's get into it. Alright guys, timing belt's in place, tensioner's torqued down, idlers are torqued down, little pins back down a little bit. Come on. Oh, come on out. Come on. Pull that grenade pin up, pull. Now we'll just give it a little extra Gugats right there, you know. should probably do that little pry bar. You look like you just got a foot full of freaking coolant! Alright, got a little tension there. Now we'll install our washer in the proper orientation. And yeah, we're gonna rotate this engine and make sure our alignment marks line up, because this timing belt doesn't have marks on it, on where to put it. So as long as your belt deflection is good on all points, it should be good. But always double check, guys. Always double check your timing marks. So guys, we rotated the engine 720 degrees on the money there and on the money on both of our cams. So now I know for 100% this timing belt is on correctly, and now I can reinstall everything else. Alright, very good guys. We got that bank cam cover on. We got this one to go. Not much left. Not much left at all. We're doing very good. Okay guys, we're gonna fill the cooling system, and we are not filling it with washer fluid. I repeat, that is not washer fluid. That is Honda coolant, guys. So let's prime our tool. Giggity. Now put the system under vacuum. Make sure your petcock's tight also. Get a little bit more vacuum in there. Very good. Keep it going. About 25 inches per mercury. I'll show you guys. That's where we're currently. Oh, that was a nice out. All right, so that's where we're currently at. Alright, we'll stop, we'll watch the vacuum, see if it stays. It in fact is staying. We'll remove this, and we'll flip the switch and fill the system. See what's happening? It's filling itself. Very good. Now just after this, we're going to bleed it with a spill funnel, anti-spill funnel, and that'll be it. Then we'll have to go on a road test, give it the beans a little bit, make sure heat works, make sure no bangs happen. Still got to start the engine. Let's hope it starts. You see guys, this was a job that was properly done. Why do I say that? Because we replaced both timing belt idlers. We replaced the timing belt tensioner. The water pump wasn't leaking, but we were in there and we replaced the water pump. Obviously we replaced the timing belt, and you know what? We also replaced the drive belt. That's how you properly do a timing belt service with the correct parts. The only other parts that would be added to this would be cam seals and crank seals, but they weren't leaking, so we're not going to oversell the customer. This we did because preventative maintenance, especially with all this stuff here. And like, granted, the bearings are not loud, but as you can see, not for nothing, there's a little bit of rust dust there. So yeah, that's why we replaced it. All right. Contact! 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 Sounding pretty good, guys. sounds real good. Alright, you know what to do. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for further content.